Welcome all my dear students to Sudharma's Physics Classroom. Today we are going to discuss the topic electric power from CBSE Grade 10 chapter Electricity. So throughout the previous videos we were discussing about electric current, electric potential, potential difference, then Ohm's law, combination of resistors and the numericals. So those are very important topics. So if you are watching this video for the first time, go back to those videos and learn those concepts also. So let's come to today's topic, that's electric power. See, in your house you will have lot of electrical appliances, right? Have you ever noticed the electric power rating mentioned in those devices? Somewhere on the device the power will be written. Say some amount of watts, say 50 watts, 60 watt, 5 watt, right? So those are the power rating of the devices. Among the devices I have shown here, some of them are high current rating devices and some of them are low current rating devices. So let's understand what you mean by this electric power. In grade 9 work energy chapter you have studied about power. Hope you remember what is the definition for power. Power is rate of doing work, right? But how do we explain that in terms of electrical parameters? In grade 9 again we have studied work done is force into displacement and divided by time will give you the power, right? But in terms of electrical parameters, that is voltage, current and resistance, how do you calculate the work done? So let's understand and derive some equations to calculate the electric power. So from the definition of power, power is equal to rate of doing work, right? Work divided by time. In case of electrical power, we can say that it is the electrical energy consumed per unit time or the rate of consumption of electrical energy. Now, how do you calculate the work done in case of electrical components, right? Electrical parameters. So, hope you remember the equation you have studied in terms of electric potential. We have electric potential defined as V is equal to W by Q, right? Work done per unit charge. So from here I can get the equation for W. W is equal to V multiplied by Q. So I'm going to substitute the value of W in the equation for power. Power P is equal to, instead of W I'm going to write W into Q, okay, rate of doing work, so W by T, so V into Q divided by T. I can just rearrange it, just a small rearrangement, V into Q divided by T. Okay, this Q divided by T, what is Q by T? That's electric current, right? So Q by T is I, so power P is equal to VI. So power P is equal to voltage into current. Okay, so if a potential difference of 1 volt applied across the conductor and if a current of 1 ampere flows through the conductor, we can say that the power of the appliance is 1 watt. So SI unit of power is watt. 1 watt is equal to 1 volt into 1 ampere. Okay, so if you supply a potential difference of 1 volt and a current of 1 ampere flows through the device, then the power of the appliance is 1 watt. And you can see the higher unit of power is kilowatt, megawatt, gigawatt, etc. Okay, so once again we derived the equation from the definition of power. Power is work by time or electrical energy consumed per unit time, and V is equal to W by Q. This already we have studied in the beginning of the chapter. So from there we got an equation for work done, that is V into Q, and substituting that for work done you get P equals VI. See, we have other electrical parameters like resistance and current, resistance, current and voltage. So let's see how do we derive the equations for all those. So we have P equals VI. Now I am starting from the equation we have already derived. From Ohm's law, V equals IR, right? V equals IR. So for this V I am going to substitute IR. Already one I is there, right? So this will give you I square R. We got another equation for power. Now instead of I, I is equal to V divided by R. All these are from Ohm's law. So P equals V multiplied by, instead of I have V by R. So what I am going to get is V square divided by R. P equals V square by R. Okay. See, from these equations you will be wondering why we are deriving these three different types. Can we get the quantity current if voltage and resistance is given, or if current and resistance is given directly, we can substitute that, right? But you just check this latest CBSE board question paper. There was an MCQ: which among the following does not represent electric power? That was the question. That's a 1 mark question. MCQs are very, very important as far as our CBSE exam point of view is concerned. Which among the following is not representing electric power? So the equations were like IR, I square R, IR square, and I square by R, right? So in that, many of them are not representing the electric power. So if it is a correct one, we have to go with I square R, right? I square R, because in the exam hall you get confused with IR square or I by R square or I square by R. Whatever it comes, we get confused if you don't learn it properly. So my suggestion is, first learn P equals VI, and all of you know Ohm's law very well, the simple equation, right? You can substitute that and instantly you can get these equations. So let's write all the equations together. P equals VI, P equals I square R, and P equals V square divided by R. Okay, these three equations will help us to solve a lot of questions. Now let's start solving some sample questions. Okay, so what will be the current drawn by an electric bulb of 40 watts when it is connected to a source of 220 volt? What will be the current drawn when by an electric bulb of 40 watt when it is connected to a source of 220 volt? So what is given? P equals 40 watts and V equals 220 volt, and what is to be calculated? Current. Current is to be calculated. We have power, voltage and current. Automatically the equation P equals VI comes into my mind. I equals P divided by V. P is 40 and V is 220. Everything is in SI unit given in the question. So we can go ahead calculating this value. Pause the video, calculate the value and check the answer. Okay, don't copy down this answer. So 0.18 amperes. Don't forget the unit after when you write the final answer. Value with proper unit will give you half mark. If you don't write the proper unit, you are going to lose half mark along with that whatever value you calculated. All the effort will go waste if you don't write the unit in the final answer. Okay, let's do another one. This is another NCERT textbook exercise. An electric bulb is rated to 20 volt and 100 watt. When it is operated on 110 volt, the power consumed will be. An electric bulb is rated to 20 volt and 100 watt. When it is operated on 110 volt, the power consumed will be. So let's write down. See, there are two powers given, two voltages, right? So let's say V1 is equal to 220 volt and P1 is equal to 100 watt. V2 is equal to 110 volt. We are going to reduce the voltage. At that time, what will be the power consumed by the device? There are two ways to solve this question. Two methods we can use to solve this question. One thing, in these types of questions, we have to understand that the resistance of the device remains constant. Once that device is manufactured, the resistance of the device remains constant. Okay, so we can go ahead with, first I'm doing the simplest way, because this question is an MCQ from our NCERT textbook. I didn't put the options here. I just want to show you how we can solve it. Okay, so since it is an MCQ question, there will be a very easy way to solve. That is the first thing we have to understand. Okay, so we have V P, right? V and P. So resistance of the device is going to be constant no matter wherever we are connecting that device. The current flowing through that, the power consumed by the device, all those things may change, but the resistance remains constant. So what is the equation for power which is related with resistance and voltage? P equals V square divided by R, or R is equal to V square divided by P. So in the first case, I can write R is equal to V1 square divided by P1. And in the second case, R is equal to V2 square divided by P2. You will be wondering why I didn't write R1 and R2. Because R1 and R2, they are equal because it's the same device we are connecting. Okay. So I can equate both, right? On left hand side, we have resistance. So V1 square divided by P1 is equal to V2 square divided by P2. What is to be calculated here? P2 has to be calculated. So P2 is equal to V2 square divided by V1 square multiplied by P1. That's equal to V2 by V1 the whole square multiplied by P1. What is V2? V2 is 110. V1 is 220, the whole square multiplied by P1. You will be thinking, okay, I have to calculate 110 square, 22 square. No, 110 by 220. We get 1 by 2. That is 1 by 2 the whole square into 100. That's equal to 100 divided by 4. That's equal to 25 watts. So this is the power consumed by the new device. Okay. Now, I told you there are two methods to solve this. Another way is you can calculate the resistance. Using the first set of values V1 and P1, you can calculate V1 square by P1. You get the value of resistance. Then you substitute that value of resistance in the second equation, R is equal to V2 square by P2. Then find out that second power. But the problem is there you will need more calculations, right? You have to square this to 20, then divide by 100, then again substitute that, then again multiply, but still you are going to get the same answer of 25 watts. And as I said, this is an MCQ question from our textbook. This is the best way to solve it. You feel it is very, it's a lengthy process. It is not. Because since I explained it for the first time, it looks like lengthy process. You practice it once. And again, when you try this type of a question, you will be able to solve it within a minute. I'm sure about that. Okay. So what you have to keep in mind is the resistance remains constant whenever we connect a device to any circuit. Okay. Because once we manufacture the device, the resistance of that materials, right, that remains constant. Current flowing through that will change according to the voltage. Power consumed by the device will change according to the potential difference we are supplying. But always this resistance remains constant. Keep this idea in mind and learn all those three equations. P equals VI, P equals I square R, and P equals V square by R. Those three equations if you learn, sure you will be able to get at least 3 marks from this part. See, last time one numerical and an MCQ was given from this part. Okay, so don't feel that this is very simple question, this is easy, and don't leave it there, because it is very important, easy to score portion. Okay, we can get, it's very simple, right? Okay, so in the coming video I'll be coming with electric energy and commercial unit of energy. That's again a very important part of this chapter. Easily we can score more marks from this area, because electrical energy we learn the commercial unit of energy. We will be learning how to calculate the electricity bill. So that can be a 3-mark question. Okay, so let's learn how to calculate the electricity bill and what is the commercial unit of energy. Okay, so if you have not subscribed to the channel, please subscribe and click the bell icon so that you get more updates when I'm uploading the new lessons. Okay, so thank you for watching and see you in the next class with the commercial unit of energy. Thank you and bye.